Big Z Reviews. Men is the newest film from writer and director Alex Garland. And, I really enjoyed his previous two films, Ex Machina, Annihilation. So I was really looking forward to seeing this. And it has some interesting parts, but it's kind of a mess. I really didn't enjoy it.
A beautiful house.
Would it just be you staying, or
Excuse me?
Mrs. Muller?
No.
Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do.
Apple from the garden?
Yeah, it was delicious.
No. Mustn't do that. Forbidden fruit.
So the setup for this is that it mainly stars Jessie Buckley, and she is going on vacation in the rural English countryside in this beautiful 400-year-old house, and the town is populated by different versions of Rory Kinnear, and it's that whole stuff. He's wearing buck teeth, he's wearing wigs, he's wearing different things, and then there's this really bad computer graphic effect, like a face swap for the kid. There's a kid that also has Rory Kinnear's face, and it's bad. It took me out of the movie because and it's creepy, but it's not it's definitely, that's not what Jessie Buckley was seeing. I feel like they had a kid playing. Okay, we'll just do this in post. We'll fix this in post. And they try to do it, and it's it looks really bad. Well, it looks creepy, so I guess that works, But the whole thing is that she is grieving because her husband killed himself or fell to his death when he was trying to break back into the apartment by going up to the floor above him to go through the balcony, and that she's now taking a vacation, but then all these weird men are haunting her, and it's it's whole thing. I think it's the problem is that part of it is this a monster pick. It's a monster feature, part of this film. But then part of the film is also just about toxic masculinity. And it's kind of weird that it's a man writing, directing it, a film about toxic masculinity. And it's just he's mansplaining toxic masculinity. And it's too heavy-handed, with the metaphor. And it feels a little like Mother, but not as interesting. And it's just the whole idea that, I mean, if you look at it one way, it's just that she sees her husband and all of these men, and they're all kind of shitty. They're all, every man is an asshole in different ways. The priest, the kid, the person that's renting the house to her, the cop. They're all assholes, and they're all evil men, and men are shit. And it's but then the other thing is that there's this ancient monster that is living in this town, and there's different versions of them running around, and it's a doppelganger, and that is more interesting. But at the same time, for the actual film, a lot of it is boring. It is super slow. And but then when the actual horror-ish stuff comes, Alex Garland doesn't play it for the horror. There's not even any kind of jump scare or startle scare. Just ooh, there's a weird naked guy with a penis flopping around, and it's there's not. They don't play it for the scare, even when they do. And the climax of this film. Look, I mean, Alex Garland, he loves his insane climaxes. And for the other ones, they really worked. I mean, Annihilation was super weird, but I mean, it was awesome. And this one, I kind of want to talk about it because it'd be a spoiler, but I mean, I think I have to talk about it because it's so fucking weird. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life, what happened in this movie. So, I mean, essentially, like, I'm going to go full spoilers. Essentially, like, this monster, like, finally decides to attack her, and it keeps, like, changing into different versions of itself, and she's fighting it back, and, like, she, like cuts his hand, like, through that, so it's dangling. But the thing is, like, we say that, like, we saw earlier when he fell to his death, his hand was, like a spike hit it and split it in half, and, like, he broke his ankle, and so that all, like, the monster is taking on all of the injuries that her husband took when he fell to his death, either by committing suicide or trying to come down to the lower apartment because she wants to divorce him, and maybe even can do a murder suicide. But like, and then eventually the monster turns into him, and that's like, but wait, all the other time there's Kinnear, so is it just a metaphor or is it real? But then they have like a not a post credit scene, but like a scene before the credits where her friend finally arrives to help her, and she sees, like, the blood trail, and she sees, so everything that we saw actually happened. That kind of breaks the idea that this is all a metaphor, this is all in her mind, because it really happened. But the most insane shit I've ever seen in a movie that I was mentioning is that it's very bad computer graphics, but, like, Rory Kinnear is pregnant, he has this huge belly, he, like, collapses, and he has this huge man vagina that opens up and births a new version of himself. And then that one's also pregnant, and that, like, another huge vagina opens up on his back and gives birth to another version of himself. And another is also pregnant and has a new huge vagina opens up and gives birth to another version of himself. And there's, like, a whole train of birthing man vaginas, and it's fucking weird, dude. Like, it's a mixed metaphor too. But, like, I don't, like, I guess that the evil men beget evil men, and that toxic masculinity spreads or something like that. But then you could also say, if it worked, like, if it was a creature flick, you could say that maybe it suffered so much damage from her, it's, like, trying to regenerate itself, but it can't do it, so it keeps trying to rebirth, switch to a new version of itself, but it keeps not working because it's too much damage, and she has to chop it all up. And say that it'd be like that, the woman is like overcoming the evil men in her life, but like for the final thing, you don't know if she actually does end up chopping up her dead husband in the guise of this monster doppelganger thing, because it cuts away and you don't see her till the next morning. So, but, like, it's just, but, like, some of the cinematography is beautiful, and the whole thing, like, it was echoes. I don't know if echoes play a big part of it, but, like, she goes in this cave and it's like it's making a bunch of noise, and that wakes up this beast, the more bestial version of Rory Kinnear, but, like, it's so heavy-handed. It's just a mess, and it's not good. Like, it's slow and it's boring, and there's just not much here. And I feel it's weird that, I mean, the only metaphor is toxic masculinity, and it's really weird for a dude to be creating it. With Alex Garland, is this really the film he should be making? Personally, I'd probably give it, like, a 5 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it, but it definitely is interesting, kinda. Is weird. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.